Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another brilliant special edition of Musical Peoples and Journeys. And today's special because we have an interview today. And the whole point about this show is people's musical journeys. That's how it started. And so it is with great delight that we're talking to a band that is on a journey, and hopefully that journey will continue. So the band's name is Sky. So the question is here, will it'll be sky's the limit for this amazing band, or will, like one of their songs, Asteroid, come crashing down? We're not going to do that. Welcome
No.
to Alice and Jericho from the band Skies. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
So live from your living room, which is amazing. Where is the centre of your universe? Where do you actually live? Where do you hang out, guys?
We're in Folkestone.
Right.
In Kent.
In Kent. And is that where you're originally from? Is that where your roots are? Where you all started from?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we were both born in like Ashford, which is like a town away, but I've lived in Folkestone pretty much my whole life.
I've drifted this way over the years.
And so,
but it's not far.
So, for those people who haven't heard your music, how would you describe your sound?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it varies.
Yeah.
Some people have said folky. Like sometimes we'll play a bit of an acoustic thing, and we. Some people, when we do that, think that we sound. Alie's voice is quite folky, and the song themes and stuff is quite folky.
Our latest single is quite folky, but
the rest of it is we love playing really loud music and lots of synths, and we love a big anthemic chorus and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my one-liner is like indie synth rock pop. I mean, I should probably squeeze folky in there a little bit as well, but I know. You listeners, you be the judge. And then we get more strings.
I've seen you live.
Yeah, that was fun. We're going back there like in 2 weeks, I think. So.
Yeah, I saw you tour there.
Yeah, I can't make that one, but I'm coming in January.
No, but it was good. It was good fun. We're looking forward to being back. Yeah.
I would definitely. I noted. I thought you were very rock pop, actually. How would you? How did you guys start then? And where? Because it's all part of a journey. We love to hear people's journeys and the stories of where they're at. Where would you think you are currently at in your journey as musicians and a band? And where do you hope? Well, you probably hope to be selling out concerts, I would imagine. But I mean, where do you hope to kind of be? And where do you think you are right now on your journey?
Right now, we are. I guess this happens like in life and in music and in business. You're constantly, you're never at the end. You're always maybe even at the beginning. We're at the beginning of another process. Actually, no, we're midway for a new process of trying to get our lives a little bit more in financial order in regards to how we work, like how we spend money on the band. How we fund ourselves and manage our time, manage our energy on the road, which has been an exciting part of getting to where we're at now.
Yeah, because when we first looked at those things, when we realised we were getting a bit fried through how expensive gigs could be or the shows we'd say yes to, I think, and even trying to release an album, it got to the point where we just thought, man, this is going to literally be like impossible. Like, how are we going to be able to keep going? But I think we've sort of realised that like you do. It feels quite generic to say now, but like you have to look after yourself, and I think we're trying our best to do that. So it's meant we've had to give up a few things, or we don't maybe do as much as we did. Like maybe particularly in lockdown, we did a lot. Before that, we did a lot. But we sort of just tried to do like a bit more quality rather than quantity, or even like if we have to lose quality in certain things, but it keeps us healthier, then we're like almost willing to like experiment a bit with that. because like if we're not okay, then the band isn't going to be okay. So I think we're midway through a lot of that. But in terms of like where we're wanting to be, I think I would love to just be a better version of what we're trying to do, a better version of looking after ourselves and still creating, and hopefully spending as much time as possible doing the more creative side of it. I mean, Jericho just booked like this tour and did all that, but all the hotels you have to book, like we kind of need a tour admin, but there's so much of that we have to do. So I think it'd be nice to eventually have that handed over to someone who loves doing that, and then we can just do like music if it's all possible. But that's my opinion. I don't even think.
Do you currently hold down other jobs right now in order to support your music career, or are you trying to be full-time musicians?
Currently, I do like media and communications somewhere, and then Jericho's just now starting to like been able to cross over into doing like Skies most of the time, amongst other projects. Like you're a producer, and he makes videos and stuff too. So there's like, yeah.
And how would you describe then, in terms of you're obviously you're a couple, and surprisingly, what amazes me about bands such as your life, there's just the two of you in the band, yes. And when did and has it always only been the two of you in Skies?
No, it has been the two of us for the past, I'm going to say 5 years.
5, is it?
6,
7.
We've had quite a few chops of our history, little different points. But going right from the beginning forward to now, I think is easier in my head.
Yeah.
Because we used to have, I joined Alie's band as the 6th member of her band. I was in my own band, so there was 6 of us, and we did local gigs in our area. And then we really wanted to do more, but the other band members were enjoying like playing the local area for good money. We wanted to go and like earn little money and travel around the country, which is a very different way of looking at your music, and it turns out. And so then we were down to just the two of us, but we got a session band in, so we had 5 members. We had a drummer, a guitarist, a bassist, you, and me on synths. And then we realised it would be easier if we just put stuff on backing tracks. Then we just had a drummer and me on synths and you on guitar and singing. And then I was like, I don't want to rock this keyboard backwards and forwards anymore. I can't really like let out something.
Yeah, you're like feeling it and you're like, meh.
And so I was like, I'm going to learn to play. I already played drums, but I'm going to learn to get confident in playing this stuff on drums. So then I started playing drums, and at that point we were like, okay, let's just do this, the two of us. And at that point, we then had some record label interest, which we've been building up to with a label called Fierce Panda in London, and they kind of ended up driving us to like be what we are.
Well, no, I think what happened was we
drove ourselves.
We were trying to play this show, and we kept trying to get a session band together, and then eventually, I think we played a couple of these label shows, and then there was one more that we were going to play, but the session band couldn't make it, so we just took this little tiny iPod Shuffle with us. It was like that big, and we just drove up there, and I think that was just our first gig trying to play this like label show where the label guy actually did turn up to that one, and we were like kind of freaking out. We played along to this little iPod Shuffle, and but then they said they preferred it to our 5-piece thing, so we were like, oh, that's kind of all right, and then we just realised why not just carry on. There's lots of bands that are 2-piece and they make it work.
So you are Folkestone's answer to Royal Blood then?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
2-piece bands?
They don't use tracks though, but they're sick. Yeah, they're really cool.
Okay. Before because I was going to jump in here, and I know I will steal Trisha's thunder, which I daren't do because she will not talk to me for the rest of the week. So I'm going to hand Trish. Let's fire away. You have discovered Skies on your journeys, and I'm really sorry, guys. I couldn't make that gig. I was due to be there. So yeah, let's fill your boots then, Trish.
Okay. So first of all, how did you come up with the name of your band?
Do you want to tell the story?
I think I told the last story.
All right. So we were in my old band and we wanted to rename because the name was a bit confusing and I didn't really like it. So I was like, so I got the guys together and one of the guys was Jez's brother Joel. And I was like, I just want a band name that is like, it's one word, it's easy to spell, it's not controversial, like it's easy to remember, like just go for it. So then the guys came back and had some different ideas.
My brother's first option was Jesus was a Nazarene.
How is that one word not controversial, easy to remember? I was like, dude, no, like, please go back to drawing board. So we all went back to drawing board. And then Joel worked, I don't know, Ralph Lauren or something, and he had a couple of customers like come in, or like customers coming in throughout the day, and he would ask random customers like, oh, I'm in a band and we're trying to rename it, what should it be called? And one of the customers said Skies, and he was like, oh, cool. And then a few customers later, another one came in, and he asked them, and they said Skies as well, off like the top of their heads. So then Joel comes back to like band practice and says that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And we looked up other bands to see if there was other bands called Skies. And I think that week there was a band in America called Skies who were just breaking up or just, ending or whatever. And so I was like, oh, well, and that was the major big band that we could see. They weren't big, but they were like big enough. So I was like, oh, that seems to work. So we, kind of had a few other options and then just picked that one. And I just put it in a rectangle and laid that and a couple other options on a press shot of the band and got the guys to pick. And they were like, yeah, we like Skies. And I was like, okay, cool, now I'll go and design the logo. And they were like, no, we really like it as it is. And I was like, okay. So we kind of stuck with it in general. So that's why it's just in a box.
That's how it's born.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Obviously, you've got the new album coming out in November.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the story behind your debut album? And why is it called that?
Well, we spent, maybe I'm summarising this in a way that just feels like it works at the moment, but we spent, we've, again, been going for like 10 years, and we've had these songs that we've been doing, and we've been writing new songs and releasing new songs, and we've released 12 tracks over the last, like we said, 7 years. We've released 12 tracks, maybe even 40, including the EP. We've about 20. So we've released all these songs, and we're like, we haven't released an album, but we've released coming up to 2 albums worth of songs already. Like, we obviously just can't get over this mental hurdle, something we need or what we want to, something not there to like release an album because it's taken us so long, and the dog is just having a fun time.
It's fine, honestly.
And then when we had finished, I get sidetracked when things change, I apologise. Yeah, when we then, so finally we got all of this, I think we ended up going into my old secondary school where I went to sixth form. There's a girls' school in Ashford, and they had a recording studio, which I like absolutely loved there when I went to the sixth form. So I was like, I'd worked there, also taught drums at this school. I was like, we can go in and we can like record during the summer holiday. So I was like, we're just going to make some demos. So we literally took all of these songs that were almost like, they weren't the B cuts, but they were the ones that just weren't quite fully formed.
Didn't make easy, yeah.
I never wanted to let them go. So I was like, we need to release them somehow, but I didn't know how.
But some of them are like 15 years old. Some of the songs were the first ones we wrote. Like, they were all really old, like technically, old songs. And we've written all these new ones before, and then we recorded these demos just because we were like, at least we can do it. I put all my effort into it, being like, we're going to send it to our producer anyway, who's going to re-record it all. But for whatever reason, I had it in my head to work to the highest standard I could at that time. And then we'd done the demos, and and I'd worked really hard on them, and I was like still disappointed. I was like, oh no, this isn't it's not very good, but I didn't know what I was doing it for. And then
you're always really hard on yourself anyway.
I'm an artist, so I guess it's part of it. But we then did the It's Not the End of the World EP, which we recorded in during lockdown in a little cabin that we stayed at for 4 months, and we recorded this EP. It was just completely like hilarious and fun being in lockdown, just driving up the road to get eggs from the local egg vending machine and chocolate muffins and bits, and then coming back and playing drums and not allowed to see anyone, and then just recording. So then we released that, and we sent that to our producers.
It felt like we had to release that first because it was like it bookended all of lockdown, and it felt really weird. Mm-hmm. It would feel like a weird thing to release, not it like coming out of lockdown. So we were like just shelved all those other tracks. So
and then we'd also recorded 2 singles. It's actually a bit of a jumbly mess. It literally is all around this time.
We recorded 2 singles after we got back from our garden tour with the money we had from the garden tour.
And then, so to try and concise it so people aren't lost and not following.
No, you're doing great. We
ended up having recorded this EP ourselves and our producer mixing it, we were like, right, it's going to cost us like 12 grand to do our album. If we want to do it all the quality we've done it before, with the music video quality we've previously done it, going to our producer to record them all, it's going to cost, and then to put the effort in to release it, as we've been releasing stuff ourselves for years. So to do everything properly, we're like, it's going to cost, and the more money you spend, the more you have to justify it by working harder in other areas. Like it's going to kill us. And then we were like, what if we use these recordings that we've got, and I get over myself and go, okay, maybe they're at least good enough to like release. Maybe. Because
also you recorded the It's Not the End of the World EP, and that was the first thing that you had released, that you had recorded, that we got our producer to mix and master, and like do additional production, and we loved it so much, and he, like, you did such a great job, he did such a great job, that it sort of made us think, oh, maybe these recordings that we did, maybe we could love them the way we loved that EP. So that's what sort of helped you go, oh, this could actually like really work. So then we sent them off to get mixed, and we were like, oh, a label had messaged us and was like, we'd like to work with you. And we were like, oh man, we needed to figure out how we felt about working with someone else, but what quality, like we didn't know what we were going to get out of it. And then we were like, right, what if we send these tracks that I've done off to mix with Oz, and we pay a lot less than if we recorded it properly. If I record the music videos myself and we just have fun recording some videos, and then we use this indie label who we'd never like met before, and we just do it, and we just get over ourselves and just do it as like within our means as possible, rather than all this overstretching and having the worst time and trying to drag through it. And you're like, how about we just have fun and enjoy ourselves, and we just do what we can with what we got, and we did.
So who's the indie label?
We're signed with a label called Cut to the Chase. They're from Leeds? Sorry, not Sheffield. Leeds.
Yeah. Shout out to Danny. Thanks for having us. So
he's been working with us.
Yeah.
So to date, then, what's been in your journey so far? What's been your highlight? Whether it's a gig or a recording, or what's been your standout highlight of your journey so far?
We did a tour the other week, and we stayed in hotels, and we got fed, and we got to eat out a bit, and we had a dog sitter, and we played in these little clubs doing acoustic stuff, and that was like,
we came back feeling like all right. Like we came back feeling like we were sane and we had energy, and although we were still tired from all the travelling, like that was an actual achievement on a human.
If we scaled that up into the world,
you felt like stars a little bit.
No, we felt human when we got back.
Human.
Yeah, we felt like. Okay. Yeah, but that was the thing, and this is what's so crazy about being in a band and what people think it's like being in a band is like you start to realise if you do it long enough that you're like you just need to be a person and get treated like a human, And I think, if you break down, like, and again, it's just not about money, but it's about energy and time and what you give to it and what you get back from it and what trying to be an artist, like making a living. You just start to be like, oh, I really need to like, dog alert. I think those are the things that we're starting to be like, oh, is it like we'd love to get more streams, we'd love to get more likes, we'd love all of that. But if like we're just totally broke and have no energy and and we're just like hungover all the time, like you're just like, oh, that's so not like we're not going to be able to carry on. And I think even like the concept of like being number one, like having a number one album, but you're like, well, but I just thought, oh, well, like the whole idea of like a number one and like wanting that and wanting to be like number one if it's all possible, and then you're just like, oh, but if I can at least put myself first and be number one, like to myself, maybe we've got a tiny chance that we could ever be actually successful when it comes to like figures and stuff. But I think we're just growing up maybe as well, and it's a bit like, but it's super exciting being able to come back from something and wow, we travelled around there with the dog and like in all these crazy little pubs and had to play 2 shows and like a couple of shows twice in one day, and you come back being like, okay, like feel all right, and we've not had to get trashed to get through it. We've not had to like drink loads, and like it's just been. So I think that is quite an achievement. But I do think there was one show that we did. O2 Academy? No, was it?
Rock.
No, it was supporting the Abbey.
Oh yeah.
There was just this one show, and I don't know in the Abbey, but like it was amazing, and his crowd were just amazing, and it was like it was a show just after we'd sold out our hometown show just up the road, and we were starting this little tour with Slow Readers Club, and that was there's this crazy little gig with the Abbey. Yeah, sandwiched right in between those two things. Like this biggest tour we'd been on with Slow Readers. And then our hometown show selling out, and then that there was just something about that gig and that time that was really like magic. But it was, now it's there's different things that you can find to like really love.
Cool.
Just a short answer.
Are you going to do your quick fire?
Not yet. Go on. You carry on.
Oh. So from your sort of 2 EPs that you have done, what would you pick as your favourite song?
Oh, favourite song out of the EPs that we've done.
I like It's Not the End of the World because it was so different from anything we'd done before, and I enjoyed recording it and writing it with you. It's we wrote it together musically a bit, and it was good fun.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a soft spot for X because I've got like a tattoo on the back of my neck with an X on it, and I think there was just something about that song that is like, it almost feels like it goes in a circle and it just starts at the beginning and at the end, and it feels like it ties up how I felt or feel about existence. I think like existence is hilarious, and it's about, so I think that's like, I've definitely got a soft spot for that one.
Trisha, that's why I asked you, because that was my next question. So there we go.
Yeah, right.
You're going to have a go. You're going to have a go, and so I've got in there so that I didn't like pee on your bonfire, as they say. What's yours, Trish?
I've got 2. I like Give Up and Asteroid.
Well, for me, there's only one, and that's Exist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like thanks. That's the sister song to X. So like, I was gonna call it Exist with like a lowercase e and a capital X and then IST, because I was like, that could be fun. But then we decided just to be normal and write it normal.
Okay, 5 quick fire questions. Don't think about it. Whack them out straight away. Okay. All right. You can't think. I'm going to give you 10 seconds at most to think about your answer. Have you got it? Are you ready?
No.
Favorite band?
Skies.
Jericho? That's not Sky. You can't think. Moving on. Favourite movie?
Truman Show.
Star Wars.
Good lad, good question. Apart from your own, favourite concert you've been to?
Coldplay at Wembley.
Coldplay at Wembley.
Okay. Favourite food?
Cheese. No, actually, shepherd's pie. The cheese is on it. My mum's shepherd's pie.
Jericho?
Bolognese.
Bolognese, good last.
With
Last
cheese.
one. Favourite drink?
Fizzy water.
Fizzy water.
Fizzy water.
Fizzy water. Fair enough.
With cucumber and lime. Lovely.
Okay. Getting back to the serious side of this in a minute. I was amazed, and the likeness to Royal Blood, your music is completely different, Blood, and I'm telling you now, having listened to 300 albums in the last 2 years, you are definitely a rock pop band with the influence of folk on that side of things. But two things struck me that amazed me, and I only managed to get to listen to your music today because I've been really busy and I get stuff over there as well. And two things blew me away. First of all, I'm going to come to you, Jericho. How the hell do you play and produce all of that instrumental sound? Because it's very similar in terms of its rawness, like the Royal Blood have. And how the heck do you manage to do all of that with just the two of you? And just obviously, I'm presuming you say you play guitar, then, Ali, is that right? But the rest of the instruments are all Jericho, is that right?
Yeah.
How? Because that is in its own right super talented. To be able to do that is super talented. And I'll be brutally honest with you. You're right in what you were saying, and I'm really glad that you didn't get hung up on it. There were some minor production issues on those tracks or whatever, but its rawness overtook it. I thought it was incredibly, overall, really well produced actually. In terms of the melodies and everything that came into it, the instruments that came into it was very, very impressive. What's your background, mate? How do you produce? You struck me early on. You said I decided I was going to learn the drums competently, but how many instruments can you play?
I can fart around with anything, but I can't always make a nice tune. But
Yes, you do always make a nice tune. That's why I'm in a band with you.
I can play things like that in a way that I can, like I can play just a few piano, like a lot of the synth melodies. It's just simple piano melodies. But I can play piano and I can get involved in messing around with pedals and other synthy bits. I play drums. I had a strong desire to want to just be my own band, really. I've always wanted to be my own band. Not because I don't like a one-man band. Not because I don't like people. I just I don't know. I think I just hear so much. It's like cooking, where you're like, people take for granted, like a bad cook is doesn't know what quantities to put in and doesn't understand that maybe sage and beef aren't the perfect pairing, but maybe sage goes with pork, and the little things that I guess as humans we take for granted, that we kind of have these general understandings with food. And so when you cook a meal, you just chuck all this stuff together, put a bit of love into it, a bit of feeling, and you go, at least I do anyway. I like to cook and I guess with music I kind of have the same thing. Like, I don't know how to do fancy French cooking, but I can do I can put a bolognese together with fresh ingredients and watch people smile, and I do the same with my music. I can play some drums, play a bit of bass, and just have a feeling, and I like playing guitar as well, and put some synths on it, and I love singing, and I love working with Ali and the songs that she writes, and that for me is an instrument. So I just take all these bits, and I'm just like, just improvise, just maybe loop over something improvising, and then before I know it, I'm like, wow, I've never heard that before. Like, I don't remember thinking of that, but this sounds cool, and I'm really happy with it.
Okay. Ali, just coming to you then. As I say, I've heard a lot of voices, and you've got to be up there in the top 20 of the voices I've heard over the last 2 years. Your voice is gorgeous. It really is, and it's got layers to it. And I understand where you're coming from in terms of that folk influence because of the way your voice is layered. And it is absolutely stunning, and that's why I think, for me, why I like the song Exists so much. I think it accentuates your voice beautifully with some really cool melodies from Jericho. I think as a band, if I had to eclipse you, that's what struck me the most. When did you decide? When did somebody say to you, "You can sing. You should be a singer"? How old were you when that happened?
No one has really said it to me. I think I was in a band when I was in primary school. But I think that I told this story at a gig the other day where I like someone, I think you jokingly said something about achy breaky heart or something. But I was literally at my cousin's birthday, and there was karaoke, and out of nowhere I just decided to go up and just sing. I'd never really sung before, and I just sang like Achy Breaky Heart, and my parents were like, "What?" And my brother's a drummer, and he's in a load of bands. He's a really good drummer. My parents aren't like that musical. I mean, they like music kind of, but they're not. They've never been like really musical music. We've never been like a musically orientated family or whatever. So it kind of just came out of nowhere, and I think my voice is a bit weird. And then one day I just kind of, I don't know, I just had this feeling that like I could just sing. So then I don't know, I just did. And then I just was in a band, and I've been in bands ever since primary school, or done solo stuff, or always just tried to write. And I only learned guitar because I didn't know any instruments, and I had friends that could play piano, but I just couldn't get on with the piano, and I just would just sing a cappella all the time to myself, and had these big notebooks full of songs, and I didn't know what to do with them, so I just got a guitar and like learned a few basic chords with a teacher, and then my friend retuned my guitar to this crazy tuning, and then I just did that ever since, and it's a proper cheat. Like I'm not really a guitarist, like I barely do anything on it, and but I just want to write songs, and I wanted to just not sing with no music, so that's kind of
honestly.
weird.
You definitely, because you're not an out rock band, but you definitely have, because of the synth, you definitely have that, for me, a vibe of rock pop. You remind me of, I love a band, and my guilty pleasure, and I think you guys are going to become one of my guilty pleasures for, there's a band called Koala, who I absolutely adore. I saw them in Victorious a while back, and I love them because they've got lovely melody and they've got a unique voice. I don't think you're quite similar in sound. I think you're a little bit more rocky than they are. They're a bit more poppy, but it's that unique sound, I think, and I think you guys have something a little bit different in that genre. And I think your melodies are fantastic. Keep that going, and I think your voice is absolutely brilliant. But I'm gutted I didn't get to see you down in Aldershot. So okay, right. Well, listen, we're coming to the end, but I just want to say, so let's have a pitch, guys. Your new album is released on what date?
November 10th.
10th of the 11th.
10th of the 11th, and you're following that up with some gigs, I presume, after that. So where can people find out about your details about your band and your tours and so forth as well?
If you want to check us out, just search Skies Band, and you should come up with Skies. www.skies.band is our website, so you can find most stuff on there. If you just Google word skies, you'll end up with just pictures of clouds, which if you're interested in that, go for it.
Yeah, Google
Sky Band. And we got the tour, like a co-headline tour with a band called Seek Harbour in January. So all those dates are up on our site, and we'll hopefully be adding a few more to that. Feel free to have a listen, and feel free to come to a show. But definitely, check out the album. It's nice to be able to say that as well. But check out the album.
Well, listen, we look forward to hearing the album. We look forward to seeing your journey. We hope that maybe we get to talk to you again, and when your journey progresses and that continues to grow, and we can look back at this interview and go like, wow, we were there. We were there as they were nearly getting to that crest of the hill, and then sky's the limit. So in terms of my introduction, I think if you guys keep working, sky's the limit for you guys. Genuinely, I think you are you're a pair of super talented, and you obviously dovetail beautifully, and you're making great music. So keep it going. So thank you very much for joining us today on Musical People and Journeys. And just to say to everybody, if you want more interviews with up and coming bands, please like and subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your comments. Please support this band. Check them out. They're on Amazon Music. They're on Spotify. It will be worth the listen. Promise you. And if you can get to support them, that would be amazing. Thank you very much to Skies. Thank you very much to Ali. Thank you very much to Jericho. Thank you very much to the dog. You've been thoroughly entertaining.
I hope you're not talking about me.
No, not at all. So wishing you all the best. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.